Look, first of all, I'd just like to be very blunt. You're naked. When you're in that space, you're naked.
You are alone.
Yeah, when you're in corporate, you're very much protected.
100%.
That's why banks sell us installment on
Yeah.
cars. That's why banks sell us installments on houses.
Because you have a pay slip, something you can take for granted.
It's a cars and all these things, right? I was always encouraged, no, you must become an engineer, And through those chats, I'd always be like, okay, but yeah, I'm the engineer, but it's because it's my business, right?
Yeah.
That was always my mentality. I don't even know where it came from.
You wanted to be the owner.
Always.
From the jump.
I always wanted to be in charge of my own time and decisions and things that I come up with, I guess, or whatever it is,
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I saw myself generally.
Countries such as South Africa, given the high unemployment rate, right? The stats came out recently. We even had a drop in the unemployment rate. Luckily, at least we can, I don't know if we can even celebrate that, but it was still sitting at 31% in broad definition. But in the more focused definition, youth unemployment at least, still sitting at around 60%. So do you encourage people to be entrepreneurs?
Yeah, that's kind of the experiences I had growing up as a young boy,
Yeah.
The voice just, it wasn't coming in, But like when you were all hip hop and you were saying your pants and you were told, pick up your pants, man.
It wasn't gonna win.
Like that's all you heard.
Yeah.
You didn't hear the fact that there was positive messaging somewhere.
You're absolutely right. Sorry to jump in there, but I feel like this is something that we can do better as 9 to Life, because the education system incentivizes the people that go to your university, where you learn and do using your mind almost, right? We haven't had too many people that are artisans, that have made a life for themselves, working with their hands. Your electricians, your plumbers, and I think that's something we can do better on. I'm just reflecting on that one. You can continue that.
It's 9 to Life. It's 9 to Life. It's 9 to Life. It's 9 to Life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of 9 to Life, your career and life journey podcast, where we interview the interesting people doing the things you'd like to do, but also the things you didn't know that you could. Today on the show, we've got Mr. Luvuyo Ngengebule.
That's
Did I
right.
say it correctly?
Yeah.
I've been practicing.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, Luvuyo is an entrepreneur. Believe it or not, I know you wouldn't believe it looking at him, because you guys always expect entrepreneurs to look rough, but he's looking nice and soft. You want entrepreneurs to look like they're struggling. He's looking nice. Mr. Luvuyo, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
Cool. I've never done an interview
podcast
in front of cameras or anything ever in my life.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm feeling
Don't
cool.
think of it like an interview. It's just a chat.
Yeah.
We were chatting before the cameras started rolling. So just think of it like that.
Yeah, of course.
These things start to disappear. You don't even notice them after a while.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So you are an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are confused about what exactly that means. They think it's a tenderpreneur. Maybe you live off of tenders, or you live off of some connections. What does entrepreneurship mean to you?
Look, there's textbook definitions, and then there's
real life.
There's real life, man. There's real life. Textbook, I always understood it to be a person who found solutions to problems. And then was able to make profit out of it.
Yes.
Or not. Some people choose not to have profit.
True.
And then there's various avenues of how it unfolds. Are you doing it for your family? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it to employ, feed people in communities, etc.? So yeah.
Look, I think entrepreneurship is critical in a country such as South Africa, given the high unemployment rate, right? The stats came out recently. We even had a drop in the unemployment rate. Luckily, at least we can, I don't know if we can even celebrate that, but it was still sitting at 31% in its broad definition. But in the more focused definition, youth unemployment at least, still sitting at around 60%. So do you encourage people to be entrepreneurs?
In fact, that's probably why I even agreed to actually engage like this. Because that's kind of my message.
Yes.
And my message is also based on my own experiences in life. But also when Cyril, let me say the Mr. President,
Cyril Ramaphosa,
the president of the country.
Yes.
When he ascended to his position, right? There was I would hear him a lot speaking about entrepreneurship and encouraging people to become entrepreneurs. And the more I look at it, the more I listen to these unemployment issues.
That's
you know, I think I would definitely encourage.
The more it makes sense.
Yeah, the more it makes sense. I would encourage.
We'll do a deeper dive into it, but I want us to go back a bit. Usually we start our episodes with an origin story, just to get to understand the person that you are today and what shaped the experiences that shaped the person that you are. Where's Luvuyo from? Where did you grow up? Where did you go to school? Who was there?
All right. Okay. So I was born in Soweto.
In Soweto.
Soweto. I was born in Soweto, but not that I ever lived there. Right.
Okay.
So what happened was in the early before the 90s, in the late 80s, actually.
Don't expose yourself.
in the 80s.
Yes.
I suppose through the movement of time and the changes in the country that were sort of happening. I don't know how to put it because it wasn't 94 yet.
Okay.
But there was this area that was being built up called Spreadview.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of families, including my family actually, relocated from Soweto. So it was actually on both sides, maternal and paternal.
Oh.
They relocated from that side and then went to Spreadview. So
okay.
Literally, it was sort of like a shift, right? When my mother was pregnant, she was doing a lot of her checkups at Lesedi Clinic in Soweto.
Okay.
And then
I thought Lesedi was a new thing, eh?
No. I mean, you know, at the risk of revealing. But like, Lesedi, that's where I was born.
Okay.
Right? And then
you're not a Barrow boy.
No. I don't. Not that there's anything.
No. There's nothing. There's no connotation. It's just most people from Soweto are born proud.
You understand? Yeah. No. Not me. And then it literally, like, even from the story I heard, like my father's parents drove my mother to Lesedi, and then I was born. I don't know why they'd go that far, but it but
yeah. And it might have been a familiarity thing, I think.
Because she was probably attending at that time. So yes, and then I was then brought back to Spreadview, where both sides were already sort of set up there.
Okay.
And I grew up there. But you know, when I've looked at this thing, I actually grew up all over Joburg. Generally, I'm like a very much of a Joburg kid.
Because we have family everywhere, right?
Family everywhere, you know, people relocate. They go from the East Rand to the West, to the South, to the whatever, you know what I mean? So I literally grew up in the East, the West, the North and the South.
The entire
Johannesburg. Yeah, the whole
Johannesburg. I see. Yeah. Okay, and then take me through your primary school days. How was that? Did you know about entrepreneurship then? What's your earliest memory of entrepreneurship?
Funny enough, right? As a kid, like I really loved cars, man.
Okay.
Loved cars to the core, right? But then my family, every time I'd express the love for cars and all these things, right? I was always encouraged, no, you must become an engineer, you know? And through those chats, I'd always be like, okay, but yeah, I'm the engineer, but it's because my business, right?
Yeah.
That was always my mentality. I don't even know where it came from.
You wanted to be the owner
Always.
from the jump.
I always wanted to be in charge of my own time and decisions and things that I come up with, I guess, or whatever it is, you know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I saw myself generally, as a kid, and you know, like it was tricky because nobody in the homestead was that.
Had an entrepreneurial sort of background.
No.
Okay.
Not at the time. You know, it was generally like professional.
Yeah, go to
like
school,
nurses,
go find a
teaching,
job.
Yeah, and of course it's that thing of, you know, once you finished ngemfundo zakho, this is where you're going. Yeah.
That's so interesting because that's sort of let's call it being a trailblazer. How did that play out for you? Because usually it causes a lot of resistance, right? Because now it seems like when you don't want to follow the traditional path, you don't want to listen to the parents. How did it play itself out for you? Did you find that you were clashing a lot with your parents?
Yo. It is a clash.
Men lost.
It is a clash. You know what I think the other thing is, right? I think maybe I'll have to give a broad answer with this one because
it's fine. Let's go into it.
So like with the growing up journey,
yes,
it became more focused on study, finish, eventually on a paper.
Yeah,
you must go and find a job. You know.
Okay. So was the deal that after you finish you can do your own thing, or you must still follow what you did?
No, not necessarily that, okay. Right? It was more of a thing of, as long as you just have a pep. You know, that was the major emphasis, right? Just get your paper right, you know? And then once your paper's right, yes, you're right. The world is yours.
Yeah.
But there was always a thing of get a job, you know?
Yeah. Because that was always top of the agenda.
That's what it is. It's about getting a job. You know, that's how it always was for me.
Yeah.
So I then only really, I think I'd say it was supernatural, man. It was life-wise. Life sent me in this direction. I wasn't asking for it. At some point, I'd even lost sight of that. It was sort of like at some point later, we'll see. When I'm like 40 something, I don't know, you know?
That's interesting. A previous guest that we've had on the show was talking about how it's important for you to sort of find your reason for existence or why you were brought on this earth.
Yeah.
Find it as early as possible. And it seems like for you, it chose you very early.
I could say so, man. Yeah. Because, you know, even throughout my school years, like, yes, that was always what I wanted.
Okay.
You know, and funny enough, I grew up around entrepreneurs, children, you know, so that's kind of, there was a nice mix, nice balance, but I always seem to like, you know, when you listen to someone who's got that background, right? It's like, no, but these people, they well off, you know, one, they're in charge of their time. Two, you know, they've got businesses that are servicing generation X to Z to A to B, whatever, you know, like long line of generations of people, you know, and from different culture groups as well. Schools I went to, you know, and of course some were very flamboyant about it, you know, but the point of the matter is that these were people that were in charge and they created things that were sustaining them far beyond what I understood in my background, you know? So that's kind of where it first landed for me that, wow, you know, this is something that I should be looking at. This is always something I wanted to do. Why am I not doing it? You know? And that's just kind of how it went. But as you study and as you go through life, that's when reality says, no.
You're going to go in this path.
You know what I mean? You need to go. You need to put in the work.
Yeah.
So, of course, I definitely went the route of getting the job. And then,
Okay. We are moving, but let's bring it back a bit.
Sure.
The difficulty is that I don't know if there's a lot of qualifications that you can study that say entrepreneurship. I know now maybe there might be a few more than there was back then when we were choosing our subjects. And even the ones that are available now are more post-grad, right? You'll study, for instance, engineering, and then you do a entrepreneurship course to bolster your engineering knowledge for you to go now be an entrepreneur. When you were thinking about studying now you are choosing, now I want to go to school. How did you make that decision? Because now there's this thing that you want to do, but there's these things that people are pushing you to do. How did you now make the decision to study what you ultimately studied? And maybe get into what it is that you ultimately studied.
Okay, cool. So okay, the school I went to had in like grade 10, 11, somewhere there, they did an aptitude test on us. Believe it or not, there was a stage.
Must have been a good school. For aptitude test, not just any school. Anyway, go on.
Believe it or not,
yes.
right? At that time, I was so lost.
Okay, you didn't know what you wanted.
I was lost. I was really lost. And, you know, there were various reasons why I was lost. Partly family related, but I was so lost. And then something within, well, okay, so during that process of doing this, they then came and said that I should be a lawyer. So I was like,
this is people at your school now.
Yes. Okay, with the people that were running this
aptitude thing.
This opportunity
school,
that we had.
Yes.
yes. Then they then said lawyer. It had said lawyer and chef, you know, because I have a thing for cooking. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had a thing for cooking, so it was like, chef and lawyer. Somehow those were the two high-ranking parts.
Yes.
And for some reason, I had believed I should become an accountant, you know. But
trust, you did not want to become.
Saved myself, right?
No, you dodged the bullet.
But anyway, look, everyone it bears its fruits.
Yeah, it does. Right? It does. Yeah.
So then so after that thing, I said, okay, no problem. So I then applied when it was time to apply for varsity. Applied at where was it? I think it was UP and UJ and the Wits, and I can't remember where, right?
Okay.
But out of the ones that I applied for, I think UJ accepted me for law.
For law.
LLB.
Okay, right? Not even BCom law,
Yeah, LLB. And at some point, honestly, I wasn't very serious about it. I was like, as long as I have a BCom law, then I can find my way back into
business.
Which
is where you wanted to go.
That's where it really was for me, right? Yeah. So I took the LLB because it was the only thing that really had passed. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, you know, to anybody who would watch this, I wasn't an A student.
Okay.
I don't want to lie to anybody. And
it took quite some effort for you to get over it.
I wasn't an A student.
Yeah.
And not because I didn't have the brain. I just some things, you know, when it's easy for you to learn, right? Yeah. And I don't know, you're not yet focused on what you want in life. You'll be lax, man. Because it's like, okay, I heard it the first time, I kind of got it. Even if I'm like 15.
I'm fine, I passed.
You know? So that's kind of how it was for me. So I ended up really being driven into that by life, I guess, you know? And I studied that, and that was difficult.
It was tough.
That was very, very difficult.
That speaks to the importance, and I want to get your thoughts on this. It's so important for you as a person to ultimately do what fulfills you or energizes you, right? Because that's when you might find, like you are saying, when you were in school, because you were doing something that you had no interest and no passion for, you are just doing it just to do it, right? And because you happen to be smart, you passed. Or you happen to be a hard worker, you passed, right? But if this was something that you were passionate about, and you would wake up, eat, sleep, drink that thing, it would be so much easier for you to excel in that thing. Now that you are here and you've gone through that journey, what advice do you have for people to help them find that for themselves? Is it get a mentor, information?
Yeah.
What sort of advice do you have for that, to help with that?
Yeah. You mentioned it. You really do need good guidance.
Yeah, guidance.
You need guidance. You need guidance because, look, for the way the world is moving right now, you know, you're a father, I'm a father. You understand? I worry for what's out there for the young ones to consume.
Yes.
In our days, believe it or not, the one thing that actually inspired me was hip hop. Like your
Hip-hop music?
your Jay-Z's, you know, like,
So they were the ones that were pushing you towards business now.
in a way, right?
Okay.
Because part of it was that was the culture that really drove us in those days. Right?
Yes, you're right. It was a culture. It was more than just a genre.
It drove us, and then
Zola
was prolific, man.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and that was like more close to home. That was more of a story that you could relate to. You know, being a kid who comes from a historically black neighborhood, where there's always lack of opportunity. Always, you know, we can't fight that even to this day.
Even now,
I worry about that, but I think the messaging would be that, Tina, there's parts where we got lost, man. You know, because even consuming the artists, the people that you watch on media and all that, they give you the idea of the ease and, you know, like how it's so easy to stray into stuff, you know, because the world is so vast and whatever. But having good mentors and also to parents, you know,
parents
are the
need to
start.
play a more active role.
Yes, parents are really the beginning of this, because parents should be guiding their kids towards the better sides of life, especially if you've raised this kid having grown up through 3-4 decades of life.
Yeah.
You know, there's already so much that you can advise a little 5 to 10 year old on a path that they should take.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important. So I think it's one messaging to parents that you should, in your mind, already be ready to direct your child, at least with focus, not necessarily tell them what to do, but keep them away from negative, distracting elements. You know, that would be the first piece of advice. The second, of course, is the mentoring.
Yeah.
I think it's actually very important. You know, another thing I'd like to speak to, which, you know, I don't like ever making things about color and race, but unfortunately
it's our reality. It's
our reality in the world, actually, in some parts of the world, and more particularly for a younger person in this country, right? Is that I think when you grow up in these areas, you believe less that you are supposed to attain certain good things. You know, parents, the way that you've watched your parents struggle through to make your life better or whatever. There's a lot of us that grow up just not believing. So for you to graduate past that point, you know, you need people to show you that it's possible. It's possible to cross over. It's possible to I don't know, man, to education is one part of it, but there's so much more than education. If we know the world, if we know how the world works, right, then we're able to make decisions to shape our future, you know? And that's what I think in my growing up years, had it not been for my grandparents always making me cognizant of my decisions now, you know, not that I didn't make wrong decisions, but just to be cognizant of what's going to happen,
the consequences of your decisions.
Right. Like I fought through my degree and I made sure I got it. If I didn't get it, that was like the end of the world.
Yeah.
For me, the way they put it in my mind, they were like,
you had no choice but to make it.
You're not a human if I'm not paper. You know what I mean? It was like that type of thing. That's how they made it for me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think it is. And also, not enough people are actually taking time to go to any person that's following you, you know, younger, obviously, right? And give them direction. Because a lot of us also don't believe we have direction.
Fact.
You know?
You're right. And it's a problem that we've spoken about before in the podcast, to say people struggle to see themselves as mentors, right? Because they're like, what if a 18-year-old comes to me and asks, what should I do? I'm also trying to figure it out. So what am I going to tell this poor kid? Right?
You're right. You see, and I think that's kind of like, I think we are still growing past the shockwave effect of like our previous political dispensation.
Our history, yes.
Right? So like we are like the generation that's sort of coming out of it to raise kids that are integrated.
They call us the middle children.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And for us to put into the minds of these young ones that you actually should hang out with the Indian, the white, the of course your own. You should be hanging out with your own, but and the colors. You shouldn't forget.
Yes.
You should all be integrated, because there's backgrounds, man, that can influence this.
Yeah.
You can learn. Hey, you find out this guy's uncle.
Yes.
No, actually, I need to talk to that guy.
Yeah.
I need to find out how he does it.
Yeah.
So that I can do it.
Yes.
Just because my dad may not be the one.
Yeah.
My dad should also not be a guy who's gonna say, "Yeah, I'm up."
Yes.
Should be encouraged.
Yes.
We should come together and we should really focus on showing opportunity.
Yeah.
Even if your opportunity is worth 10 rand.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough to show someone who's got 0 rand.
Yes.
How to get to 10 rand.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You're right. And I think this is why we had a chat on a previous episode where we're speaking about, the question was, would you encourage more people to do podcasts, right? And I thought to myself, podcasts are such a great way for you to sit down and sort of distill your story, because a lot of times we have guests on the show and they have no idea how fascinating or how inspiring their own story would be to someone else, right? Because they were there living through it. You know, they tend to downplay the moment. But when you tell your story to other people, you might take it very lightly to say, I pushed and then I finished my degree. But someone else hearing that, for them, it means the world. So I think what you're saying is you're highlighting the importance of examples, right? People that they can look at and say, someone was once in my position and now they are where they are at. And it's possible for me as well.
So look, one, I certainly endorse positive messaging.
Yes.
At any level.
Yeah.
Right. Because also YouTube is so wide these days, right? That even the ordinary kid who doesn't necessarily have immediate access to it can find their way to the information. So I would certainly encourage that, right? For kids. More particularly for kids.
Yes.
Guys, it's important that we start to shape the messaging, right? Because then, whether you want to be an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, an entrepreneur, an engineer, there's even a musician, whatever it is, right?
There's options, yeah.
There's options, and those options, the only problem with the options is that in the latter day, everyone, or a lot of parents were raised to believe in, like, either you are a teacher. If you are not a teacher, you are a nurse. If you are not a nurse,
you're a policeman.
You're a policeman. And maybe if you are lucky, you become a doctor or a lawyer.
Those are the prestigious ones. It was either here or there, nothing in between.
Yeah. And why was that the case? You know what I mean? If you look at it really, in fact, I don't want to go too deep, but I'll place it the way I see it, right?
Yeah.
What the economy needed at the time were those types of people, but also so that they could feed the system, not run it. why are people not looking into running it now? You know?
Yeah, that's so, especially given the back to what we spoke about now, given the fact that there's so much potential sitting at home right now in the youth that,
Right.
you know, have the capacity and the vision to run, but, you know, opportunities are not as plenty as we would
course.
love them to be.
And another thing about opportunity.
Yeah.
Opportunity is something you create yourself.
Yes.
I think that's something that there's not enough messaging about.
Okay. Let's put it out there. Let's put it out
Opportunity
there.
is something you create yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's really as simple as standing up and saying, you know, look, I've been looking at him for the longest time. I need to talk to him. I need to go see what that guy is all about. Why is that guy able to do the things that he's doing right now? I need to go talk to that guy. That's it. That's really like my previous example.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just about going and asking somebody, just having a conversation with them, saying, teach me. And by the way, I'd like to credit this to something I saw Vusitembe while say.
Okay.
So I'm not just like speaking like I created this myself.
Yeah.
I watched the guy and he spoke about that.
Yes.
And I was like, wow.
Okay. So he spoke about how you should be aware of the opportunities around you and not just wait all the time for people to come and save you. Is that the message? Maybe put it how he put it
guys,
for us. Yeah.
One, right? Education is very important.
Okay.
Let's not ever shy away from that as a fact. And
Okay.
education doesn't have to be you went to this university or this institution to gain this piece of knowledge.
Yeah. Education is not certification, as they say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Certification is what teaches you, I suppose, how to reason and you know.
No, certification says I have the paper.
I have the
not
paper.
necessarily I can do the job.
Yeah. Yes. There you go.
Yeah.
Because now you have to go out and actually apply
Exactly.
your knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah.
But part of getting the knowledge, not everyone reads. You know what I mean? Not everyone can sit and read.
Yeah.
Some people need to go out there,
Yeah.
you know, for them to learn things, to talk to people, to understand how the world works.
You're absolutely right. Sorry to jump in there, but I feel like this is something that we can do better as 9 to Life, because the education system incentivizes the people that go to your university, where you learn and do using your mind almost, right? We haven't had too many people that are artisans, that have made a life for themselves working with their hands. You know, your electricians, your plumbers, and I think that's something we can do better on. I'm just reflecting on that one. You can continue that.
You made me think about how, like, when we were like around grade 9, right? Remember?
Yes.
I remember this was like fascinating for me when like grade 8, when I was in grade 8.
Yeah.
And I heard that like
you can
leave school in grade 9. I was like,
what? And go to college.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But then you hear like the comments about that make those decisions.
Yes.
You know? And that forces you to.
But I think maybe it's what you're saying now. I don't know if we don't have enough examples or we're not putting it out there. But for instance, the mining engineering qualification is not you have people that study degrees, but most people study diplomas, right? Because it's such a practical thing, right? Fixing cars or building cars is a practical thing. Fixing computers. There's engineers that come in and do the calculation, but those calculations don't mean anything without someone sitting there and building that thing.
And actually doing it, yeah.
So us downplaying that thing as if it's not important, or it's not as important, I think we can do better. As a whole entire educational system, as a society, as 9 to Life, we're also taking responsibility there. So you'll see more artisans on the platform.
In fact, I would also encourage you guys to talk to teachers, man.
Absolutely. We've been trying to get teachers.
Teachers are so important in life, guys.
100%.
Teachers are incredible, man.
Yeah.
And we don't give them enough credit.
Yeah.
Because even just to learn how to add 1 and 1 together to get 2.
Yeah.
That's such an important skill for life. Eh?
Yes.
Because you can, I mean, here's something I thought about recently, right? this is a wild thought I had.
Mm.
You know, that Azola pad when it comes from Toyota brand new,
Yeah.
or a Quantum when it comes from Toyota brand new. And I hope you understand where I'm going with this. Right?
Okay.
When you get these cars brand new,
Yeah.
they all come with a manual.
Manual, yes.
What are you supposed to do with that manual?
No one makes that.
Is he supposed to what, burn it like in Bauleni somewhere? No,
No one
you're
needs
supposed
that
to
thing.
use that
Yeah.
thing if you get stuck
Yeah.
with this machine, because
Yes.
it's a machine.
Mhm.
And you need what to have learned how to read,
Yes.
so that you can do that exercise.
Yeah. For you to just navigate the world. Never mind that. Waking up and knowing what's happening on a daily basis these days. Because we get most of our news from social media now. Yes, we watch newspapers, news reports, whatever, but breaking news happen on social media. And how are you going to know about the breaking news if you can't even read? You're absolutely right.
Right. You know, you have to go watch a video and find out
Yeah.
that there was an explosion in town.
Yeah.
If you went there, you know what I mean? When you see some guy flying in the air, you're like, oh, okay, so that's what happened.
Yeah.
No, man.
Okay. I want us to get into your current role.
Okay.
You're an entrepreneur. You have your own business.
Yeah.
Take us through that. I know you said circumstances sort of pushed you, or life
Yeah.
pushed you to be an entrepreneur, but you could have said no,
Yeah.
right? Take us through the decision process to say, you know what, I'm actually finally diving in.
Yeah.
What motivated that?
Such a terrible story. Huh?
We are here for it. We are here for it.
Ooh, man. Okay, so 2018.
2018,
Okay.
yeah?
I worked as an employee
Mm-hmm.
for some years, you know.
Yeah, so you were in the corporate world for some years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was, but I so what happened was I studied,
Mm-hmm.
got my LLP,
Yeah.
not in record time. I don't want anybody to believe lies.
To be
It was not-
deceived.
it was definitely not in record
Yeah.
time, right?
Mm.
It even got to a point where I was being told, like, hey, Mamela, so dlala ngemali.
Yeah.
You
You need to finish
make
now,
a
man.
plan.
Yeah.
And even got a job whilst I was studying so that I could actually
Jeez.
pay off.
Supplement, yeah.
Supplement because of that very chat. Like,
Yes.
you know? So
Mm.
that I then went and did my articles
Yeah.
in the corporate world,
Mm-hmm.
with some inspiring ladies, man. You know, these
Okay.
like women, they run a black-owned firm, and
Oh, lovely.
they pretty much like inspired a lot of my decisions.
Yes.
You know?
Okay.
And did my articles, qualified as an attorney.
Yeah.
And then that was what, 2018.
Mm.
Yeah, shortly after that, I became a dad,
Mm.
and then I became unemployed.
Mm.
And yeah, man, that's when like the world just like caved my
in.
world
Started to
caved in.
cave into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, because yeah, I mean, things happen in life.
Yeah.
Things don't last forever.
Yes.
You know, but still, I would even to this day thank the people that taught me what I know.
Yeah.
And
the
even,
example that you saw
yeah,
in these people building their own thing.
yes.
Ah.
Shout out to them. I obviously don't want to name them, but
Yeah.
shout out to them.
Shout out to them, whoever you are.
They-
Shout out.
They really inspired and helped me to grow into the person who, when I became unemployed, right?
Yeah.
What really pushed me is that I was not looking for work.
Mm.
Firstly, I tried to apply to become an advocate of the Johannesburg Bar.
Okay.
That didn't work out.
Okay.
And then after that, I tried to apply various law firms,
Mm.
trying to get back in the game,
Yeah.
feeling myself wasting away, you know. And my son was very young at the time.
Yeah.
He was like 6 months or something. I
Yeah.
was waking up in the middle of the night. I was like, this is just no.
Mm.
Like, I'm not dissing dads, but I'm just saying, like, it was imagine what you're going through at the time.
Yeah.
It was a very deep.
Sounds tough.
It's tough.
I mean, it's tough. I have a similar story, very similar story to you.
Yeah.
When my son was a couple of months old,
Yeah.
my contract ended. I was on a contract position and it ended.
Wow.
When I was unemployed for a couple of months, it was hell.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy hell.
It was a hell. Because you feel so useless.
Useless, bruh.
As a human being.
You. Terrible.
So, no, I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
And don't even feel like, you are any less, because we all go through this.
Yes.
All of us go through a rough patch.
Yep.
Some of us make it out quicker than others, but all of us go through a rough patch in some shape or form.
Yes.
But we bounce back and we find a way.
Yes.
And we make it work.
Yes. So of course, there's probably a mental health aspect within that conversation.
100%.
But anyway, so then eventually, so it started with like one of my mentors telling me one day, why don't you just do your own thing, man?
Do your own thing.
Yeah, like, do your own thing. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
You're insane. No. No.
Do you know how much work that involves?
No.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a nothing. You know what I mean? I'm a junior in the game. I know nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then my late grandfather and my dad,
yes,
both of them were like, hey, no,
yeah,
come on, make a plan.
Do something.
Do it though.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, no, I'm gonna keep looking for work.
Yeah.
And man, months were going by, nothing was happening. Then COVID hit. And COVID, COVID did a lot of damage to many people's lives, but
absolutely,
me, I have to say, it helped me.
It helped you.
It also damaged my life.
Yes.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
But it also helped me so much.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest driving force was being a dad. Honestly, I think being a father just drove me through. Like, I need to get through the line. So
that's such a great sort of motivator, because I think firstly it highlights what a lot of people have said on the podcast: the importance of relationship. Right? It means you understood the importance of the role that you needed to play as a father.
Sure.
Right? And that sort of became your fuel. Even in those moments where you need to push. Find a way. These opportunities that you said people need to be more aware of.
Yeah.
You need to take some time to look what's out there and what you can do. With what you have.
Yeah, of course. So this was me at the age of 28, 29.
Yeah.
Right. And then
COVID.
Then went into 30, COVID. And that's when I just decided to make a switch, and honestly, I think the other thing that I would like to stress here is that in those times, having grown up in a worshiping family, going to church, being forced to go to church every Sunday. You know what I mean?
You grew up in one of those guys.
Yeah.
Vuga Sunday, we are all going to church, like it or not.
I used to get policed when I was washing. It's like, you're being too slow.
Come on, Mama, let's go.
Yeah, we've got to go. We've got church.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't a person who took too much interest in it. At that time, I got realigned with my, I would like to call my higher power, because everyone has their own higher power. You call your power God, which I do too.
Yeah.
But God has significance, different significance to everybody.
Yeah.
So when I got realigned with that, and I got brought back down to earth.
Yes.
Man, the amount of prayer I went through, the amount of soul searching, the amount of conversations that I had with ordinary people on the street. You see, this is another thing. You get into corporate, you can't engage with people. You're there at the top of, whatever it is, and not that you're looking down, but you don't even have the time to.
Yeah, you can't even look up and see where you are.
You're in an office, you're in front of a laptop.
Yeah.
You're running around trying to meet targets.
Yeah.
All of that, and when I really went through that humbling process of sitting with people and just talking, you know, man, that I think is where I really developed a mind shift. So much so that I realized you can do anything, man. You can do anything you want to do in this life.
That's so great. I watched a video recently that spoke about, it was basically breaking down what actually really makes people happy. So it was a study that was conducted over a number of years, and I'm talking decades now. People were interviewed when I think they had just entered college, and they were followed all the way to their 80s. And they interviewed these people and asked them, now that you are here, and they've been tracking where they feel, where they are on a happiness scale, for instance. And what they found is that a lot of people think what will bring them happiness is accolades, awards, money, material things. But what they found from a confirmatory point of view and also from a negative sort of point of view, to say what actually ultimately makes people happy in life is their relationships.
Deep.
Relationships and having people around you.
Deep.
That meant different things to different people. For instance, extroverts need a lot of people. So for them, 20 is the number that makes them happy.
Right.
Introverts needed 2 people.
Yes.
And the people that were least happy are the people that didn't have the number of relationships that they thought they should have.
Wow.
I thought I should just bring that in because you were talking about now, you know, this sort of experience that you went through sort of brought you back and made you appreciate even things that you were overlooking in your life.
Yep. So yes, definitely. And you know, the interesting thing about that is that I was actually getting time to spend time with people I had known for years.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't like, but along the way I was meeting new people that were associated with particular individuals I knew. But it was still based on relationships. And had it not been for some of those conversations, man, I don't know if my mind would have been shaped quite the way it was, you know? So I think
that's important.
I think that what you said is very enlightening. It's a good bar of information.
Yeah, I'll link the video in the description below. You guys can go check out. I think it's a very important video because happiness, ultimately we all want to be happy in life. We're all pushing for a happier life. So I think anything that sort of helps us get there quicker is valuable, right?
You know, I just wanted to add, right? I actually heard a billionaire speak recently, right? And he was talking about what do you need money for?
Yes, that's interesting.
You know, and of course, like, yeah, man, he was speaking based on his lifestyle to some extent. But one thing he really mentioned, which is key, right? In fact, he was centered a lot around his kids in his
relationships, man. I tell you.
And he was talking about being able to send them to whatever school you can. That's of you know, I don't want to say upper echelon.
Whatever you want.
Like whatever you want. The level of education
options
you want for your child.
Yes.
You know? And that's important, man, because part of what I would credit my journey in life towards is the relationships I developed. You know?
Okay. They're still going strong now.
Yeah,
that's,
definitely.
That's a rare thing.
Definitely.
That's a rare thing. You must hold on to that thing.
Gents that I spoke to, that I came up with in high school. Like some of us were going through the same shift. You know? And that kind of formed a support group, right? Because we sharpened each other's tools. You know?
It's that thing of saying, you know, we are more alike than we think. We are more alike than we are different.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, I want us to get into the entrepreneurship now, practical day to day. A lot of people think, hey, I want to run away from corporate because corporate is too hard. And I want to go into entrepreneurship and be my own boss. It sounds nice from the inside, from the outside, being an entrepreneur and being your own boss. Maybe take us through now, in your current big company. What are your biggest headaches What are the things that keep you up at night that you're like, oh, yeah, if I could solve this, I think I could get to the next level of my life.
Yo, man.
Just to highlight how difficult it can get.
Look, for one, being a small-time operator, you're generally just, your bottom line is making sure you've got food on the table at the end of the month. You know? I don't even want to go into petrol and all these types of things because not everybody has access to their own vehicle. Some people are starting from a different position. So I'd just like to say that one of the major issues that you will struggle with is making sure that you've got food on the table at night, making sure you've got electricity, you know, and we've got load sharing, but besides that, you still pay for these things. You pay for life. To live in a house, you pay the municipality. Your parents, if your parents are that way inclined, they are paying for municipality. Just for you to sit in that house. Doesn't matter what logishi or what suburb.
Wherever you are.
The fact of the matter is fees are being paid. Your life it's got a cost. You know? So that, I think, is probably bread and butter. My old boss used to say bread and butter issues. It's bread and butter issue.
So it's not so easy to make this business thing work because people think, like, I'll give you an example, right? A lot of people have this idea in their mind of what running a business is going to be like because in their corporate role, they have so much structure and protection around them, right? They have someone that can take care of the bread and butter issues, which allows them to maybe think bigger, right? And they think that when they start their own business, they won't have to worry about the bread and butter issue. I only need to think about marketing. But there's so much that you're going to have to learn because now you're outside of a nest, right? You're on your own now. There's nothing protecting you. There's nothing covering you. It's you that has to make it work.
Look, first of all, I'd just like to be very blunt. You're naked. When you're in that space, you're naked.
You are alone.
Yeah, when you're in corporate, you're very much protected.
100%.
You know? That's why banks sell us installments on cars. You know, that's why banks sell us installments on houses.
Because you have a pay slip, something you can take for granted.
It's a continuity contract of a different kind. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. You're cushioned. Your boss is the one that's thinking bread and butter there or the board. But they managing big amounts. They're talking about board, they're obviously managing big amounts to pay you at the bottom or at whatever level
you're at,
in the employment chain. You know? So when you are out on your own, you are naked and exposed. You know? And when the governor of the Reserve Bank is announcing 25 basis points, 50 basis points, what do you think that this guy is going through? You know what I mean?
It's very real for you,
as opposed to the guy who's you're gonna complain, nah, man.
But actually, you're not actually feeling it to the same extent.
It's tough, right? People, it's not easy, man. It's not easy, but it's also, you know, when you go into the conversation and you're talking about where it all began, for me,
for you,
right? That kind of gets me back to the principle that no, but this is who I am. This is probably even a calling for me. You know? Because my interest is to change lives. To fix social ills. You know? That's my core interest. Hence me talking about the experience of being able to sit with people and listen to their stories and get to understand the life of an ordinary person on the street on a Wednesday at 11:37. You know what I mean? And we are not going. None of us are going anywhere. It's lockdown 5. Even if it was not lockdown, being able to sit and talk to people. And this is what I loved about COVID. Actually, is that it brought all of us together to find ourselves, you know, because that's kind of the experience that I went through. That you know, you're listening to the ordinary story of
Yeah.
ordinary person, and you're starting to understand like what's going on in society. And not enough of us are making a conscious effort to try and make change before we enrich ourselves. We should be trying to make change, because what's the future of your kid looking like? You know?
You're absolutely right. And it's something Vusi Tembegwa, funny enough, said. Because he said, what did he say? These walls that we build for ourselves are not going to be high enough to stop the hungry people that are going to come for.
Right.
These things that we think
Right.
are going to be exclusive to just us. Yeah.
There's like how many national highways in Joburg? There's the N3, there's the M1, the M2, you understand?
N14.
And then there's off-ramp.
And 12, yeah.
And then those off-ramps, they lead to your house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how do they get there? You know what I mean? How do they get there?
Yeah. They'll connect and find a way to
they'll
get
find you, they'll come in, they'll feed themselves off of, oh, no, when are you fine?
Yeah.
I'm coming to take.
You know, we are stuffing here. Absolutely. I think I wish more people were more, maybe they are aware, but maybe more can be done. I wish more people could do more to try and, I guess, fight that thing.
Look, and I'm not speaking as someone who's doing incredible work or whatever. I'm just saying that I'm trying to also build consciousness here, you know, to more particularly to younger people than us, because I wish that at the time I was coming up, I had a person who could really appeal to me in the voice that I needed to hear. Not my dad or my grandfather or Babu Sbanbani, or this priest that was shouting at us every Sunday. Those things. Yeah. Like someone who could speak with a voice of like, I'm not judging you, man. Yeah. You know? Nobody's judging anybody. We're all just trying to find solution.
Yeah. And I'm trying to share my experiences, you know, that could possibly help you.
Yes.
Oh. Yes. That's so tough, because think about how you were in high school. Could anyone come and tell you what you're going to do? No way. And I think what you're saying is valuable, because it says, is it Einstein that says insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result?
Right.
You know, when you shout at the person, is not getting through. So shouting more is not going to help.
Right.
Let's try and find other strategies to try and get through to these people.
Right. And that's
yeah, beautiful.
Man. That's kind of the experiences I had growing up as a young boy, you know. Yeah. But the voice just, it wasn't coming in, man. Yeah. You know. But like when you were all hip hop and you were saying your pants and you were told, pick up your pants, man.
It wasn't one away.
Like that's all you heard. Yeah. You didn't hear the fact that there was positive messaging somewhere.
No, you heard that someone is shouting at me to do something. Not what this means or what I'm trying to achieve with this thing. You're right. Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Yep. Look, I think we got into it. There's a lot more we can get into, and I think in terms of business, but I think the thing about business is that it's so dynamic that as it's changing, you know, you'll have more reasons to come back. We absolutely want to see our guests come back so that we can sort of also track some progress. We've had some wonderful progress of people that have been on 9 to Life. You know, people have gotten promotions, people have won pageants, they are national figures, you know. So we want to see that for you, and we want to, when that happens, we want you to come back and talk to us about that.
I'd love to. Yeah. Although, like, I'm a firm believer in letting my work speak for itself. You know.
Sometimes your work can't get everywhere. Sometimes you need people to come in. Yes. The work will speak. The work will be there so that it gives substance to what people are saying about you.
Yeah.
You understand? Yes. The work people must say, but after they say, they must come back and say. And see the work and then the work will say what the people were saying was right.
Sure. Yeah. I think you know what it is. Yeah. It's that also we don't celebrate each other's victories enough.
100%.
In fact, we'd rather laugh.
We'd rather wait for someone's downfall first and then laugh.
We'd rather laugh, you know? That's why I said we'd rather laugh. You just finished it off. We'd rather laugh. and
100%.
and then look, man, I'm not into that.
Yeah.
You know, and I would certainly love to share, man. But
Nah.
but for me, my sharing it needs to go to the right ears.
Yeah.
And we really need to help inspire each other, guys. Because
I guarantee you are talking to someone.
yeah.
Someone is listening to you and saying, this is exactly what I need to hear.
I
right
truly
now.
hope so.
Yeah.
I truly hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
Please. No.
So as we close off the show, now we usually ask our guests the same 3 questions, and I'm sure you've seen the show, so you know
Yeah.
the questions.
Yeah.
Question number 1: in life and career, 9 to life, what has been your biggest win?
What has been my biggest win?
Yeah, biggest W where you were like, this is it, I've made it, and this is now life and career everywhere, Luvuyo as a whole.
Jeez. My biggest win. Okay. So my biggest win, I think, was at a certain point in time in my life, let me say, is that when I went through the downer that I went through.
Yes.
My son's first birthday party.
Yeah.
The biggest win that I had was after hustling and hustling
and pushing.
I showed up with like my dream toy as a kid for him in a massive box.
Yeah.
That for me was literally my biggest win.
Your proudest moment.
It emanates from what I was doing to be able to walk into that store and get that gift. You know?
Yes.
So really that was my biggest W. What I did, without getting into specific details, I saved a man. I was part of a team of people that saved a man's life.
Okay.
His livelihood.
Wow.
And we cleared his name.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, someone said, I don't know where I saw this, but they said it's different when you're buying something that you made the money on. Like, there's a difference between buying things from money that you get from a salary versus money that you went out and hustled and made work for yourself.
Yes.
So there's definitely, I think, some value to that.
And you're in the dust at the time. So coming from the dust.
Yeah, nothing else. It doesn't look like there's light at the end of the tunnel, but somehow,
you know? But
that's beautiful. Yeah. Second question is now the inverse of that. What's the biggest L, and from that, what was the biggest lesson?
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay, so
your toughest challenge. I think I need to start changing this thing.
Yeah.
Say, what was your toughest challenge? I think that's a better. That's a better, question.
Toughest challenge. Sure. I think to this day it remains my toughest challenge.
Yeah.
When you're young and you're just out there, you're making moves, but you're doing it for the sake of growth, man, and you've seen the world from a different view.
Yeah.
Where everything we've been talking about, everything we've reflected on here. Right?
Yeah.
That's pieces of my worldview, right?
Who you are now.
And I think, man, as a young African boy, a South African boy, the biggest challenge I've had is dealing with the insecurities of those older than us. As they watch us grow. Initially they wanted the best for us.
Yeah.
But now it's coming closer.
Yes.
You know? And now it's like, okay, let me get into his mind a bit and bring him back to size, right? But then it's not working because you're that strong and you believe that much in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then you cross over.
Yeah.
Now you're not invited at the table. Or you're at the table, but you need to be humbled because it's too much that you might have surpassed this person at your tender age. You might have surpassed them
where they were at or where they are now. Yeah.
And this is a reflection of personal and professional for me, right? That that's the experience I've had. And you mentioned being a trailblazer.
Yeah.
In my family, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I would speak to for whoever this resonates with, right? That you can be a person who believed in, you wanted to be something, and nobody really ran with it or believed it or was for it, and then you came and you kill it, you know. And then now you first have to deal with the way that you're not going to be given the encouragement or flowers for the fact that you've surpassed all of us, you know. But rather to be made to feel like there's something wrong with you, you know. That I think is the one thing that I've really, really struggled with, both professionally and personally.
That's tough. How do you get out of that? So remember that the question was two parts. What is the lesson from that? People want to pull you down to a level that they are comfortable with, right? They thought, yes, you must go, but up to here. Now I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
What's the lesson there? Or how do you navigate? It's a bit of a tricky one.
Well, look, I'll speak for this very moment that we engage in.
Yeah.
You know, what I've put into practice is constant self-belief, because imposter syndrome is a real thing for people, right?
Absolutely.
And for someone who may not understand the concept of imposter syndrome, imposter syndrome is something where for me to be sitting here right now, like, I can't believe no, there's something wrong. No,
I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, he's laughing at something about me. Or no, like, you just find all sorts of negative reasons to not be, or reasons to not be here.
Yeah, why you don't deserve to be where you are.
Why you don't deserve to be wearing this t-shirt or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
That is what imposter syndrome is.
Yes.
So I fight. I continue to fight against the notion that I'm not good enough to be where I am.
Where you are at.
That's one. Two, look, you know, it wasn't all bad when I was going to church with my grandparents and I was being forced. You know, I really found,
you took it for granted at the time.
I took it, but I found more of a center in the messaging of the church and in praying to your God and to your ancestors for guidance, you know, through the journey, because you're not going to meet evil as you go along in life. You're not going to meet evil. You're definitely going.
It's not always going to be smooth sailing.
Doesn't matter if you're working for somebody, or you work for yourself, or you're a third generation trust fund kid. Someone's gonna hate you, man.
There'll be a problem.
Someone is not going to be happy with what you're doing.
Yes.
You know, so you look towards the positive and continue to do the right thing.
Yeah,
I think that's what's got.
I like that.
That's the lesson that I've
you've taken from this.
Sure.
Lovely. Last question. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing?
Wow. I'm a very big lover of music.
Music.
In fact, I've got a big music dream.
Okay.
But not one that involves me being in everybody's eyes or whatever. No, but like, I wish that I could feed into music. Through providing recording equipment or actually engineering the music, the sounds, the beats and all that. That's something that I wish, and I probably will.
So we will do.
I probably will do because I love it that much.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my mom spent a lot of time with artists.
Yeah.
She was on TV at a point.
Okay.
You know? And I got to meet a lot of artists. I got to meet. I've become friends with some. You know. So I got exposed to that world and that life, and I wish that I could be part of it. Not in the limelight.
Not in the front. Yeah. Not in front of the camera. In front of the
just to feed it.
Yeah.
Because also think about this, right? Bomere Makeba, Imasegela, like, you know, the old
The legends.
the old legends.
Yeah.
They helped to make our lives what they are today because of the messaging.
Yes, 100%.
They were using that medium to spread positive message.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's what you do.
Yeah.
Okay. Those that know me know that one day, I keep saying to people, one day I'm going to open a record label. So maybe you might be, maybe you might be a competition or what is it? A collaborator. We'll see.
Collaborator.
Yeah.
I think I don't like butting heads.
Competition has its merit.
Yeah.
People, you know,
Positive competition.
Yes. Healthy competition helps people reach their next limits. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Another thing I would say is that I would probably be buying and selling cars because I love that.
Oh, you're still tapping into that thing that you said about
That's
cars.
something I want to do, actually.
Yeah.
I love those machines, man.
Yes.
I really love those machines. So I wish I could do that.
Okay.
As well. Yeah.
No, fantastic. Luvuyo, thank you so much for coming to the show, my brother. We had such an engaging conversation, and it wasn't the typical, you know, how we usually have in 9 to Life, because we focus a lot on career sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, the show is 9 to Life. So the life is just as important, arguably more important, because your career can change, but who you are is, you know, every other part of your life will still remain, and you'll need to nurture that as well. So I'm glad we got to touch on that. Do you have any closing remarks before we officially close off the show? Any message that you want to send? You can speak to the people there. Tell them. Yeah.
Firstly, I was going to say, right, the fact that you're 9 to Life. No?
Yes.
So, again, we're going to go back to this gent.
Yeah.
Vusitembe once referenced something that, I don't know where he got it, but he was talking about the concept of the 9 to 5.
Okay.
Working hours.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I saw that
right?
video. Yes, I saw that video.
That is based on, for those who haven't.
Yeah, maybe just briefly touch on it. Yeah.
It's an ideology.
Yeah.
That was created many years before any of us were.
In the industrial era, I think is what
industrial
it said.
era.
Or industrial revolution.
A colonial industrial era.
Yeah.
You know? The construct, it was based on the powers that were at the time.
Yeah.
They decided those hours because that's the best thing that suited them.
Yeah.
For employees to
100%.
Yeah, but
So
that's just a bit of for somebody.
Yeah.
Knowledge is
just some trivia.
To be shared and passed, right?
Yes.
But also, man, I think for me, even agreeing to be here was just based on sharing a message of positivity to that whatever circumstance you live through, you know, there's always a way out of it if you look into yourself and you try to figure out what you're meant to do here.
Yeah.
What are the things that you're good at that add to the life that we're living.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you're from, but you need to look into yourself and find that thing that makes you an asset to the world, you know, and use it.
Yeah.
Use it and go out there and do it, man.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
Guys, life is not about money. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that money is used to shape our life.
It's important.
It's
but
important.
It's not.
But it's not about
the be
that.
all and end all.
It's not about that, man. It's about you. It's about you, the relationships.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And remember to fight that imposter syndrome. Yeah. Don't let it get you, né?
Yeah.
On that note, guys, thank you for watching another episode of 9 to Life. Remember to comment, subscribe, please, and share this to whoever you think could touch them. We'll see you on the next episode. Cheers. Killing the game. Thank you for pulling through.
It wasn't bad, you see.